So let's dive into one of the wildest paradoxes in all of history. It's the story of a man so unbelievably wealthy and so generous that his kindness didn't just help people, it completely shattered entire economies. It sounds made up, but believe me, this really happened. I mean, think about it for a second. Can pure generosity actually lead to financial ruin? We're always taught that giving is a good thing, right? But what happens when a gift is so massive, it becomes a force of destruction? Well, back in the 14th century, the answer was a resounding yes. A single journey by a single man proved that generosity on a scale never seen before could spark an economic crisis that would last for over a decade. So, who's the man at the center of all this? His name is Mansa Musa, the emperor of the Mali Empire in West Africa. And calling him rich is, well, it's a massive understatement. His empire sat on some of the world's biggest gold deposits, and for him, gold wasn't just money, it was basically as common as dirt. Okay, so in 1324, Mansa Musa decides to go on the Hajj, the sacred pilgrimage to Mecca. But this wasn't just any pilgrimage, oh no. This was a statement, a display of wealth and power so huge, it would be talked about all the way from Europe to the Middle East. And it would completely change how the world saw West Africa. And to really get what happens next, you have to picture the sheer scale of this thing. He traveled with a caravan of 60,000 people. That's not a caravan, that's a moving city crossing the desert. And get this, part of that massive crowd included 12,000 of his own attendants. It was just a stunning display of his power and resources. But they weren't just along for the ride, because their job was to manage hundreds and hundreds of camels, with each and every camel loaded down with pure, solid gold. This wasn't a journey, it was a mobile treasury about to be unleashed on the world. So his route takes him through these major trade hubs, like Cairo, and at every single stop, he just starts pumping huge amounts of gold into the local economy. He's giving it to the poor, showering it on merchants, building new mosques. It was an incredible act of charity, but what he was really doing was flooding these delicate markets with cash. But, and this is the big but, this amazing act of charity had a catastrophic, totally unintended consequence, especially in Cairo, which was a global center for trade. His generosity was about to kick off a full-blown economic crisis. And this is where basic economics kicks in hard. Before Musa got there, gold was valuable because, it was scarce. By single-handedly flooding the market, he cranked up the supply, and the laws of supply and demand are ruthless. When something isn't rare anymore, its value absolutely collapses. This triggered massive inflation. When the value of your money, in this case gold, just plummets, you suddenly need way more of it to buy the exact same thing. The price of everything, from bread to cloth, just went through the roof. The effect was devastating. As gold became nearly worthless, the life savings of regular people were just decimated. The entire regional economy, which was built on the stability of precious metals, was thrown into complete chaos. One man's generosity had completely destabilized the market. And this wasn't just a temporary shock either. The economic damage was deep. Historical records tell us that Cairo's economy took more than a decade to recover from Musa's visit. An entire generation felt the impact of his kindness. But here's the twist. While he was accidentally wrecking economies on his trip, his journey had the exact opposite effect on his own empire's reputation. The story of his incredible wealth spread like wildfire, and for the first time, the whole world knew exactly where all this gold was coming from: Mali. I mean, this pilgrimage literally put the Mali Empire on the map. For the very first time, European mapmakers started to draw West Africa in detail, often including a picture of a king, Mansa Musa, holding a giant golden orb. It was like a global advertisement saying, "This is the land of gold." So what is Mansa Musa's ultimate legacy? It's not just about being rich. His wealth was so enormous that it acted like a force of nature, with the power to both build a reputation and completely shatter an economy. As one source puts it, Mansa Musa didn't just have wealth, he was wealth. He went beyond just being a rich guy. His very name became synonymous with a fortune so vast it could bend the world around it. And the simple truth is, we've never seen anyone like him since. No single individual has ever had that kind of direct, personal impact on the global economy. His story is truly one of a kind. Which leaves us with one last question to think about. Mansa Musa's story proves that our impact, whether we intend it or not, can last so much longer than our wealth. So what's the greater legacy? What we manage to keep for ourselves, or the changes we set in motion for everyone else?